Here's a video on how to create the unit circle. The expectation is that you will show the degrees, the sine and cosine values at each coordinate for 4 points. If you want to go beyond that, for 2 points you can show the tangent values. I show you one method. It's up to you to choose any method of memorization you want to, but here's how I will start it. I will start with degrees, and that is 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360 degrees. And then I go by 30s, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, and 360. Then I go by 45s, 45 degrees, 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315, and 360. Next I'll write the coordinates in, and I'm going to follow the pattern of the quadrants where I know that x and y are both positive in this quadrant. I have negative x, positive y in this quadrant. I have x and y both negative in this quadrant, and in this quadrant I have a positive x, negative y. So we're going to start with the vertices here, y and x and y intercepts. It's a unit circle, which means the radius is 1 unit long. So this coordinate is 1, 0. This one is 0, 1. Here it's negative 1, 0. And down here it is 0, negative 1. Again, it's your method how you memorize this. Again, I show you one method. I will start with 45 because I know that sine and cosine are equal at 45, and it's root 2 over 2 for each one. Unit circle is symmetrical, so I know that if I go straight across to the left, I have a negative root 2 because x's are negative in that quadrant, and a positive root 2 over 2. And I reflect that downward to here, and that is negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2 because they're both negative in that quadrant. I reflect that again across the other way, and I have a positive root 2 over 2 and a negative root 2 over 2. And that's the 45s. Now I'm going to go to the 30, and that is root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So again, I reflect that across, so I can write negative root 3 over 2, positive 1/2. I reflect that downward, and I have a negative root 3 over 2 and a negative 1/2. I reflect that across, and I have a root 3 over 2 and a negative 1/2. My last one is the 60, and the 60 and 30 are just flip-flops of each other. So here it's 1/2 root 3 over 2. I reflect that across, and I get negative 1/2 root 3 over 2. Reflect that downward, and I get a negative 1/2, a negative root 3 over 2, reflect that over, and I have 1/2 negative root 3 over 2, and that is all the coordinates. Again, it's just sine and cosine, so that's 4 points. If you now want to do tangent, tangent is equal to sine over cosine. So let's start with the nice numbers. Sine over cosine here would put 0 over 1, so tangent at this point right here is 0 over 1 or 0. Up here it's 1 over 0, so it's undefined. On the left side it's again 0 divided by negative 1, so 0. And then down below, undefined. Next easiest part is to look at 45 where sine and cosine are equal. So here tangent is equal to 1. Over here it's equal to negative 1. Down below, positive 1 again, because negative divided by negative. And over here, negative 1. The other two take a little bit more work, but tangent of 30, when you look at your notes, you'll notice that it is equal to root 3 over 3. Which means over here it is negative root 3 over 3. And down below root 3 over 3, and across negative root 3 over 3. And again from your notes, 60, tangent of 60 is equal to root 3. Over here, negative root 3. Down below, root 3. And over here, negative root 3. And that is the completed unit circle. What I've written on here is what I expect to see. Again, your choice of going for 4 points extra credit or 4 and the 2 to get a total of 6 points extra credit. I wish you luck.